At Many Mansions, all that we do is driven by a core belief that no matter who you are and no matter what you've been through, everyone deserves the opportunity to come home. For all of us, having a place to call home is an essential foundation that makes so much more possible. And here, home is so much more than the place you live. It's the community of family and neighbors you can rely on. It's the support system where you can find resources you need to thrive. And it's a secure place where you can make your plans for today without worry over where you might be tomorrow. Whether you're holding the keys to your very own place for the first time or the first time in a long time, the next chapter of your story begins when you come home. We know housing is a key first step toward building that better life. That's why for more than 40 years, we've crafted intentional, quality spaces rented out at rates our residents can afford. Today, we serve over 1,200 adults and 300 children across Ventura County, with plans to expand our reach to more people than ever before. And it's not just housing. Over the decades, we've developed a comprehensive range of services that meet people where they are and truly transform lives. At the same time we invest in building new affordable housing apartments for more people, we also invest in the people themselves, creating healthy, vibrant communities full of hope and opportunity. But it is our commitment to comprehensive support that helps people to establish true stability and live the life they want to live. Together, we're creating more communities of people who have defeated poverty and homelessness for good. Join us in creating a place to call home.
What a beautiful and inspiring video. We're so grateful to each of you for being with us today. As we all know, there's a greater need for affordable housing than ever before. Housing costs are some of the highest in the country. Because of the pandemic, more people are out of work and cannot afford where they live. The need is excessive, and it isn't going away anytime soon. The first step to achieving the vision of every person having a place to call home is to build or renovate apartments. Doug Menges, our Vice President of Real Estate, has exciting news to share about our growth in the immediate future.
Yes, we have a lot going on in our real estate division. I'd like to take just a few minutes to take you on a whirlwind tour to see the kind of developments we have planned over the next few years. But first, I'd like to talk briefly about why we see affordable housing as being such a huge need. We've all seen the headlines, but I'd like to peek behind the headlines and mention to you three compelling statistics. First, Many Mansions has about 3,000 households on our waiting list. That list would likely be even longer had we not closed our waiting list last year. It could take years for someone on our list to get a home. Second, the number of persons counted homeless in Ventura County in 2020 rose to 1,743. In Los Angeles County, it's even more grim. There's over 66,000 people counted as homeless in 2020, an increase of over 12% from the prior year. These counts, of course, were all taken before the pandemic and the subsequent economic impact. And third, when housing is available, it's so expensive compared to the average wage in Ventura County that literally tens of thousands of lower income families are priced out of having a decent place to live. So that's where we come in. Now let's first take a look at what's going on in Los Angeles County. In these first two slides, you see what we've been working on in Sylmar. This development is on a hill overlooking the Hanson Dam recreational area. We call it Summit View. This is a housing development for homeless and disabled veterans that we are building in partnership with LA Family Housing, a nonprofit developer in Los Angeles. As you can see from the comparison of the two pictures, it's going to be a beautiful property. It will house 49 veterans and their families, and it's on schedule to be completed at the end of 2021. Now on the next slide, just up the freeway from Sylmar is Sun Valley, and that's our Sun King development. This will provide housing for 26 families and designed for a homeless and chronically homeless population. What makes this unique is that we have partnered with the Los Angeles Unified School District to give early preference to households with children enrolled in LAUSD schools. And Sun Valley High School is directly across the street. Sun King will begin construction in 2021. Now our next slide is our new development in Boyle Heights. This will be a mixed-use development also slated to begin construction in 2021. Here we'll build 44 units of housing with commercial space on the ground floor. And this has absolutely wonderful views of downtown LA. In this development, we have partnered with Azure Development, a private commercial developer based in Boyle Heights. Now let's come closer to home in Ventura County. We also have lots of exciting new developments. And I feel like we have to start with Ormond Beach Villas. This is our award-winning Veterans Project, the first of its kind in the county. It has 40 units, it's fully occupied, and we just completed its 1-year anniversary. Now the next two slides show the kind of work that we're doing on our existing properties, because it's not just about developing cool new projects. Through our asset management department, we're also doing work like this. This happens to be Bella Vista. We just finished installing 300 super efficient windows and sliding glass doors. The cool thing is this work was started and finished in just under 5 days in order to minimize the disruption to our population there. And we have more work planned there this spring. All in all, we have worked on 4 existing properties over the last 12 months. Now, let's go back to new construction. Our next project is Mountain View Apartments, 77 units in Fillmore, which is a beautiful community in the northern part of Ventura County. This is just one of several properties we are working on in partnership with the Area Housing Authority of Ventura County. We expect to close our financing in 2 weeks and start construction there by the end of October. I have to say this one is near and dear to my heart, having worked on it for the last 4 years. Next up is Berry Street, which is in Camarillo, and also a joint venture with the Housing Authority. What makes this property unique is that it will have 60 rental apartments, as well as 8 for-sale townhomes, which are being built by Habitat. The city of Camarillo has been a terrific partner and a driving force behind this affordable development. This will also likely start construction in late 2021 or perhaps early 2022. Now, over in Oxnard, we have not one, but 2 exciting developments being planned. First is Central Terrace, which will be 87 units, which is a large percentage of those for homeless household. And next, it's Twin, right around the corner, which we call Aspire, also built primarily for homeless households. Now for Central Terrace, we are planning to build it with something called modular housing construction, which is just what it sounds like. We will build complete apartments somewhere else, transport them to the site, and stack them on top of each other. This will cut construction in half, saving lots of time and money. When we have these completed in the next few years, this will significantly change and improve the look and feel of downtown Oxnard. Now, I have just one more. This is our newly planned project called Rancho Sierra in Ventura County, just south of Camarillo. Here, we're planning a senior housing complex, also in partnership with the Area Housing Authority and with tremendous assistance by the county. We think that senior housing will see a tremendous demand growth over the next few years. This development could be the first of several phases, actually, and this will start construction in 2023. So to wrap up, wow, we have a great many developments planned in the next few years. To that end, Many Mansions has always enjoyed great relationships with cities and counties where we work and build. As an example of that, I would like to introduce our next speaker, the County of Ventura CEO, Mike Powers.
Hi, I'm Mike Powers, and I have the privilege of serving as your county CEO. And I'm honored to be with you today to celebrate the many successes of Manny Mansions. We are so grateful at the county for our long partnership with Manny Mansions, over 40 years, partnering and developing affordable housing for those in need in our community. And we can talk about it, and that's one thing, but we actually need developers to build the housing. And that's the much harder part of it. And Manny Mansions has done that and done it well year after year. And they've done it with great quality. You know, how much can a building say, right? Well, it turns out it can say a lot. What it says to people who've been housed is the comments and the looks on their faces, you can see it just brings a sense of calm and gratitude and confidence and appreciation that the quality of the housing that they get to live in, and that really restores that sense of dignity to folks, I think, and that makes a big statement. So it's no surprise that these projects are award-winning. So on behalf of our Board of Supervisors and our county family, we just want to wish you our heartfelt congratulations for winning not one, but 2 awards for your Ormond Beach Villas project, both Developer of the Year and Project of the Year. And again, as I say, it's no surprise, it's an amazing project, it's beautiful. And we really appreciate also that it's really dedicated to veterans. Because, you know, as we know in our county, we want to house everyone, and especially our veterans who sacrifice so much for us, and this project will help get us a long way there. But I also want to talk about Manny Mansions' just overall role in our continuum of care for homelessness services in our county, and they play really a leadership role, and have. And just to give you an example, when we were working with the cities and community providers and area housing authorities to form this, we needed folks to get on board, and the coordinated entry system was a big change. And folks here in the room know way better than I do. That was a big change. Manny Mansions was the first housing provider to agree to dedicate all of their units and have them filled through the coordinated entry system. And right now they've filled 133 of their housing units dedicated to homelessness through this coordinated entry program. I think others took note of that they were willing to do it, and that helped other people have the confidence to get on board as well. The HMIS system, that's the Consolidated Information System, right? And that's really important so that we can improve and coordinate services for people facing homelessness. Again, they were one of the first adopters, and that really helped. The other thing that people, you know, some people outside might not realize that they are the largest site-based supportive housing provider in the county. And what that means is that they don't just build the housing, they actually manage it going forward, and that's a big deal. It's a great model, but it's a hard model. But it really makes the difference because it's transformational, because you're providing housing, but also social support services and education. It's really transformational. You're changing people's lives and giving them hope in a time when they're at their most vulnerable, and which is really just, it's beautiful. And so we are really eager to hear about the state of Manny Mansions today, and we are excited to be your partner going forward, developing more housing in the future in Ventura County. So thank you, and have a great conference.
Thank you, Mike. We appreciate your partnership, and we appreciate the partnership with the county. The people who live in Manny Mansions apartments come from many walks of life. Their circumstances are all different. Some come from homelessness, living on the streets, or in a car. Yet others have been couch surfing, moving from home to home every few nights. And some families are living in overcrowded one-bedroom apartments. No matter what the circumstance, Manny Mansions welcomes each person where they are. But having a home is not always enough to build a stable life. Sometimes help is needed to get back on track, working towards stability and breaking the often generational cycle of poor living conditions. When a new person or family moves into an apartment, they're greeted with an array of opportunities to gain skills and help them achieve their life goals. Leading our program and services, Christina Medeiros of Resident Services, she can tell us firsthand the stories from a place of having no hope to achieving happiness.
I'm Christina Medeiros, a member of the Residential Services Division here at Manny Mansions. I'm here at our Hillcrest Villas Library. Prior to COVID-19, this library was full after school with school-aged children participating in our homework club. We miss seeing their smiling faces and hearing them read to a volunteer or a staff member. Meanwhile, we're offering our homework club virtually. At the same time that many mansions invest in building new affordable housing apartments for more people, we're also investing in the people themselves, creating healthy, vibrant communities full of hope and opportunity. Once the fundamental need for housing is met, residents are able to enjoy the type of stability that helps bring other opportunities into focus. Whether it's the veteran attending a job skills workshop as he prepares to enter a new industry, the single mother who has long struggled with mental health challenges, but is finally receiving the services she needs to heal, grow, and create a better life for her family. The third grader building his reading skills with his favorite volunteer at Homework Club, or the attendees of a weekly peer support group, building community together and celebrating milestones on the road to recovery. No matter who you are or what your needs, chances are there's a program at many mansions that will help keep you moving forward. I can tell you many stories myself, but it is always better to hear from the residents.
Well, before Many Mansions, I was homeless.
I was running low on options. I have mental illness and I was trying to do my best.
I was homeless, lived in the dirt of Simi Valley, slept in a car for all that time.
Before Many Mansions, I was living a very stressful life.
I was homeless for 5 years. I had no income at the time, and I was moving around and living in people's houses, like on their couches here and there, a couple weeks here and there.
In a 200 square foot room in a condo.
Before Many Mansions, I lived in Mexico. My parents were here in the U.S. to help out financially.
Well, I always lived in Many Mansions, and my family is in Many Mansions as well, like my aunts.
So we've lived here all our lives with our parents. They lived here before it was even called Villa Garcia.
Now, living at a place that I've been living for, I think it's been 12 to 13 years, and I love the place where I live here.
Many Mansions has improved my life greatly. It's given us a place for our family to live in, and they've given us so much in all aspects of our life. They've improved our lives.
Through Many Mansions, I was able to put my health first, and I needed that more than anything.
Many Mansions has helped me reestablish a normal life.
When I got here, I had nothing, and they just provide so much for us.
It feels like I have a second family because they're just always there for us.
The summer camp, because it's great, and I think it's a big thing for all the kids, and the kids love it.
And then as I got older and I entered middle school, I became a counselor, and then I started helping the children, and I still help the children, and I love it.
Thank you, Many Mansions, for allowing my family to live together.
Thank you very much.
Those stories are the end result of supportive services, providing comprehensive, whole person support for every resident with services such as mental health and behavioral support, life and job skills workshops, peer support and recovery groups, financial literacy education, and food assistance, pantry access, grocery gift cards, and nutritional support. We also invest in the futures of families and youth, creating opportunities for the next generation to thrive through family resources and service referrals to agency partners, educational and enrichment programming like Homework Club, summer camp, and teen programming, food access in partnership with local food banks and school districts, parenting support and education, and access to a college education through our Vicky Scholarship Fund. In order for people to break debilitating cycles such as poverty, they need access to resources, tools, and community connections necessary to create personal stability and make progress on their own unique journey toward a life without housing insecurity. Your support of Many Mansions helps to make the dreams of residents come true.
My name is Susan Cass, and I'm the board chair for Many Mansions. and I'm honored today to represent the Many Mansions Board of Directors. The board is comprised of volunteers from the community. We serve on the board because, as we saw earlier, we see how our programs change lives. For example, last Saturday, we asked our 2020 scholarship recipients to come meet us outdoors to acknowledge them, since we couldn't hold our scholarship luncheon this year. I chatted with a charming, confident young woman who is finishing her second year of community college, working as a tutor and applying to attend a Cal State University next year. I first met her when I was a volunteer in the after-school program, and she was an extremely shy middle school student. Through her residency at Many Mansions, she was able to attend an excellent high school, was supported in her schoolwork and socialization through the children's programs, and now has the financial and mentorship support of a Vicky's Fund scholarship. This is how we change lives. Many of you participating today are Many Mansions volunteers and donors. Thank you so much for all you give to our residents. For those of you who may be new to Many Mansions, thank you for participating today. Many Mansions started with a few community members who saw the need for affordable housing. Many Mansions has grown because of dedicated people like each of you. Please continue your interest and involvement with Many Mansions. There are many ways to help. Become a volunteer, work with our children and families, or serve on a committee. Invite us to speak at your place of worship or community group so we can expand our network of supporters. In Doug's presentation, he talked about a lot of the new communities that we're building in new geographic areas. So we really need to expand our network. Join our gift program to donate holiday gifts, Thanksgiving baskets, or school supplies. Consider a financial gift to ensure that the adult, family, and children's programs continue to grow. As we have shown, housing alone is not enough. Your support of the programs in any way possible means a better life for our residents.
You know, every organization must have leadership to achieve the vision, and Many Mansions is no exception. Our board of directors is made up of people full of vision with skills and life experiences, along with dedication to provide the needed housing and services to those in need. Rick Schrader, our president of Many Mansions, is our leader. Every day, he guides the organization through the steps necessary to build safe homes, fill them with those in need, and support residents to achieve their goals in life. It's an honor to introduce Rick to share our vision, one created by the board, donors, staff, volunteers, and the community. Rick?
I've been asked, though, to speak on what is Many Mansions' direction? Where are we going? You've heard some of the challenges and barriers that Many Mansions faces. Well, what is our future? How will we meet those challenges? First, we're going to continue to expand and diversify our housing. Second, we will continue to expand and diversify the type of residents we serve. And lastly, we'll continue to expand and diversify the scope and nature of our support. Housing. We will continue to expand and diversify the housing, including the amount of housing we develop, its location, and the manner in which it's developed and constructed. There is a crying need for housing. For example, here in Thousand Oaks, the average rent for a 2-bedroom apartment is now $2,131 a month. That means for housing to be affordable, a household, and to be affordable is to pay less than 35% of your income toward housing, that household must earn $73,000 a year. Most households do not earn that. Therefore, it's not surprising that many households pay a higher percentage of their income toward housing, taking away money for other necessary items, or live doubled up or in substandard conditions, or even become homeless. This lack of affordable housing, and indeed homelessness, are man-made problems. with man-made solutions. At many mansions, all of our housing, all of our rent is affordable. All residents pay rent, but it's paying rent that they can afford. While many mansions will continue its mission of building more housing, our housing will become more geographically diverse. As you saw from Doug's presentation, our new housing will be throughout Ventura and Los Angeles counties. It was not until 2016 did we decide to expand to Los Angeles County. Now, interestingly, we actually have more affordable housing development projects in Ventura County than ever before. So we will continue to look for opportunities, housing development opportunities in both counties. But the housing that we developed will be with a diverse set of partners and stakeholders. Our joint development with the Area Housing Authority of Ventura County, with LA Family Housing, with Azure, and others have proven to be successful, since we can pool our knowledge, our resources, and our talents. And this trend will continue. At the same time, we will continue to explore different and more efficient construction methods to build our housing. We're already studying modular construction, container housing, 3D construction, and other methods to bring the housing to communities at a less expensive price, but at the same time maintain our very high quality standards. Second, we want to continue to expand and diversify the type of residents we serve. We're building housing for a much broader and more diverse population of residents. I think, as you've heard, Mountain View and Berry Street are for low-income individuals and families. Ormond Beach, Summit View are for veterans. Sun King and La Guadalupe are for individuals and families who are chronically homeless. And Rancho Sierra will have housing for seniors, families who are homeless, and perhaps even transition-aged youth. We want the focus to be on our residents. How can we build communities where our residents can thrive? How can we assist in improving the quality of life? Now, you've heard from Christina talk about some of the ways that we do assist our residents, and we will continue to offer an extensive set of on-site service programs and support for our residents. The program and services we will offer will differ depending upon the resident. At our sites with children, we will continue to offer an extensive set of educational programs for the children. At our sites with residents who have experienced homelessness or have a disability, we will continue to offer a variety of programs and services to assist their individual needs, to integrate them back into the community, to obtain employment, increase their income, or simply to attain greater self-sufficiency. We will continue to expand our programs for all of our residents. During this pandemic, I think we found that all of us need some type of support, whether it be information about COVID-19, information about rental assistance, unemployment assistance, or really just someone to talk to. And we will continue that. But we will also continue to draw upon experience and expertise from local service providers. As our residents are becoming more diverse and in more diverse locations, we will draw resources from local service providers. Our recent collaboration with the Boys and Girls Club of Oxnard, Port Hueneme, and LA Family Housing for services at Ormond Beach Villas has really only helped those residents. Lastly, we will continue to expand and diversify the scope and nature of our support. We need support. This includes community, stakeholder, and advocacy support. This also includes individual donor, grantor, and foundation support. We cannot increase our affordable housing without such support, nor can we fund our resident service programs. One of our goals, indeed, of this event is to bring our message and our mission to a wider segment of the community. In closing, we do not know what challenges and needs our community will face. I wanted to give an example of that. I've recently been following a post on Nextdoor about a homeless man who lives in Agoura. And the poster posted pictures of the homeless man's belongings, speculating he must have stolen these items and asking, how can we allow such people to come live in our community? There was a reply post. It began, "That homeless man is my son." The mother went on to say that her son grew up in this community, suffers from mental illness, and that none of these items were stolen, and that many have tried and are continuing to try to help him. She concluded by saying, "You have no idea how heartbreaking it is for me to watch my son live like this. All I want is the best for him. I will always love him. I just hope that he can get back to a good place soon." And that really is Many Mansions' mission. We are trying to get people back to that good place. With your support, we can do that.
At this time, Alex is ready to answer some questions that have come through.
So the first question I got was, where does our funding come from? I think most people are surprised actually that the main funding source we use is actually conventional bank loans, just like any other developer. Obviously, the rents that we charge are less than market rate developers, so we basically subsidize the difference with various federal, state, and local programs. The biggest program that we use is actually the Low-Income Housing Tax Credit Program, in which private investors, usually big banks and others, actually invest in our properties, and they get a tax credit for that investment. So it's really kind of a win-win public-private partnership. So we use a lot of various funding sources depending on the populations we serve, like Ormond Beach Villas in Oxnard. We use a state program called Veterans Housing Homeless Prevention Program. At other properties, we use various other state and local programs. But each property that we develop actually has about 5 or 6 different funding sources. So it can actually get very complicated to kind of put all the things together and make sure that we're meeting all the obligations from our lenders. It's fun though. That's something that me and several other team members do. And you know, and we're able to create the much needed affordable housing in our community. So we borrow as much as we can and then subsidize it through various programs. Sometimes we actually have rental subsidies as well, which basically allow our residents to pay whatever percent of their income they have. So some residents pay very little, some residents pay more depending on their ability and their current income levels. I did get a question about letters of encouragement and congratulations for our scholarship recipients. Yeah, I believe that's something that we'd love to see. That would be something that go through our resource development department, through Ann Sobel and her team. So if you have any congrats that you want to pass on to our scholarship recipients, please send those to Ann and she'll direct them to the right people. One of the questions, and I kind of alluded to this, that I often get is, do our tenants pay rent? And the answer to that question is yes. But again, it's based on a scale of ability to, can people hear me okay? Okay. All right, I saw a few things pop up so you couldn't hear me. I'll try to speak louder as well. So oftentimes people ask, do our tenants pay rent? And the answer is yes, but they pay rent based on their ability to pay, right? Typically we charge rent that's 30% of a tenant's income. And so some tenants that may be higher, some tenants that may be lower, and we kind of have a cross section of units depending on the properties that we serve. Some units are for extremely low income, people that were homeless and disabled, and obviously those rents are very low or oftentimes nothing based on the rental subsidies that we provide. But then some families pay rent at a much higher level, especially as their income goes up, people's rent gets adjusted accordingly with obviously a cap. But that is something that we get asked quite frequently. Another question I got was, how many units do we have now? And currently we actually own or manage 20 properties with over 600 units. That's all here in Ventura County currently. And then the next question to that was, how many do we have in our pipeline? We actually have almost 10 additional developments in our pipeline with actually another 600 units. So the plan is actually for us to double in size in the next 5 years. Now, 6 of those developments, almost 500 units, are actually here in Ventura County. And then 3 developments with a little over 100 units are currently in development in the city of LA. I got another question about our partnerships and interest in partnering. We're actually doing a tremendous number of joint ventures, as you heard from Doug. We're partnering with other nonprofits, whether they're social service agencies, whether they're governments, government agencies. The point person, if you're interested in partnering, which was asked, would typically go through me or the real estate team. I typically kind of oversee the initial acquisitions. And so if you have any opportunities, please send them my way. If you have any great sites or any great partners or just have any possibilities to develop more affordable housing, you can please call me at any time. My email is alex@manymansions.org, and just shoot me an email anytime. I'd love to hear from you. Let's see, what else do we get? Another question I got was, what are the opportunities and goals in LA, and what are the challenges? That is something we get asked frequently, is why expand to LA? You know, you were founded in Ventura County over 40 years ago. And the reason is quite simple, actually. I mean, Thousand Oaks, as we all know, is just a hop, skip, and a jump from the Valley and from LA. It's actually about equal distance to go to the city of Ventura as it is to go to the San Fernando Valley or other parts of LA where we're developing. But the biggest reason is the need. There's actually not a lot of affordable housing developers that develop in the Valley, in the San Fernando Valley, which is kind of where we initially expanded into. You know, we do our own services and our own property management, so we kind of want to expand concentrically, right? We want to be able to make sure that we're bringing the same quality to all our developments, the same services that you'd expect, the same management. And so we basically kind of started with the San Fernando Valley. Our first development is in construction in Sylmar, right across the street from Hanson Dam. That'll be 49 units for homeless veterans in partnership with LA Family Housing, who's a local affordable housing developer there, and who's actually an expert in that area. And so we're working with community partners to really build that infrastructure and build that need. But as you know, there's I don't have the exact number offhand, but I want to say 30,000+ homeless individuals and families in the city of LA, and that's really just unacceptable. And another area that we're really focusing on that not a lot of other developers focus on is actually homeless families. A lot of LA nonprofits actually focus on chronically homeless individuals, but like the deal we're doing in Sun Valley is actually going to be for, as Doug mentioned, homeless families, especially families that are attending Los Angeles Unified School District and those that have a child attending LAUSD and that are homeless. And that's something we're really excited for and really proud of, that collaboration and that partnership. And we're really trying to bring that services model that Many Mansions has to the city of LA and to that community. Let's see, lots of other questions popping in. Okay, what else do we have? I did get a question about a GoFundMe page. I don't believe we've done that in the past. We do have a dedicated social media person, that's Bambi Osaka. She basically does all our posts, all our social media posts, our website posts. You've probably seen a lot of them lately, especially we were pretty proud of the State of Many Mansions and the awards that we recently were given and the great projects that are going on. So Bambi does a great job there. Is there a central depository with information for ways we can offer our assistance as Many Mansions adapts to the new norms of COVID? I don't know if there's so much a central depository, so much as, please talk to our board, please talk to Rick, myself, and really any other member of the Many Mansions team if you have ideas about ways we can improve. We are doing a lot with regards to COVID preparation and changing our operations. As you see here, we've gone to virtual events, we've gone to virtual case management and virtual programs for the children. We have a lot of great events that are still happening. We're still doing our food assistance. We're still doing everything we need to do, but just in a socially responsible way. A lot more of our staff are working from home and telecommuting. We've done a lot more upgrades to our properties and our facilities. And we're actually changing the way we design buildings too. Having a lot more flex space, or we're gonna have open space that can be inside outside space. And basically a lot of cool things that we're working on to make sure that we're still providing high quality amenities and services for our residents. And PPE supply. What type of COVID measures are in place? Okay, so we kind of talked about that a little bit. And PPE supplies. If you actually were to go to our offices, you'd see We have kind of the plexiglass in place at the main entries, and for our residents, we have the masks, the sanitizers. We've done a lot of different upgrades for our properties and our procedures. So we've actually done we actually replaced the air filters with upgraded air filters at all of our properties, all of our offices. Our asset management team and our property management team and our services team have really collaborated quite well together to make sure we have a lot of protections in place. Cross our fingers or knock on wood, whatever you want to do. But so far, we've had no staff, or at least that I know of, residents who've had COVID. And so we're very grateful for that, but we are prepared in case that were to occur. Let's see. I got a question about curiosity regarding modular housing and earthquake preparedness. No, that's a great question. The type of modular housing that we're actually currently exploring, and I don't want to get into too much, is actually using shipping containers as the components, where they basically retrofit the shipping containers inside. They look just like normal units with drywall and cabinets and the same that every unit looks like. They bring them to the site. They basically piece them together by big cranes, drop them on each other, and then they connect all the utilities up that way. And then you can make it look like however you want. You can put any what they call skin on it, so it can look like any other building you've seen anywhere, or you can have it look like shipping containers. It's really whatever you decide. But the great thing about that particular model is the fact that, as Doug said, it actually reduces construction time. And the reason for that is they're building these units while we're doing the site work, right? You're getting the dirt ready, you're getting the foundations ready. All that takes many, many months. And in normal construction, you have to build sequentially. You can't do the next phase until you've completed the previous phase. But this basically upends that and allows you to build your units while you're doing the initial phase. So when you're ready, you drop them on, you make your connections, you do your final finish work, and you've hopefully saved, at this time, we're hoping to save about 6 months on construction time. But once we kind of work out of the kinks, we can probably cut the construction time in half, maybe up to a year. And when you're living on the streets, when you're in overcrowded housing, when you're in a tough situation, every day matters. And we know that, we appreciate that, and we want to get our housing built as quickly as possible, but also maintaining the high quality standards that we have. Got another question about explaining the 2 SCANF awards. So SCANF is the Southern California Association of Nonprofit Housing. This will be the last question because I know we're running short on time. The Southern California Association of Nonprofit Housing is basically the trade association for our industry in Southern California. We won Developer of the Year. There was actually 7 other wonderful nonprofits that were finalists. There's probably 100 plus nonprofits that are part of SCANF. So it's actually quite an honor. And we also won Project of the Year Beyond LA for Ormond Beach Villas in Oxnard, which is the first housing for permanent affordable housing for veterans in our community, which we're extremely proud of. If you've been there, you'll know how beautiful it is. Our property management and services team are doing a great job. The residents are doing wonderfully. Our vacancies are non-existent. The property is going great. And we're so excited. And I think the fact that we've done such great work in Oxnard is what's led to the 2 potential developments we're working on that Doug mentioned. We're looking at almost 170 additional units in the city of Oxnard that we're working on, and we couldn't be more proud of these awards. So I will turn it back over to Tim for concluding remarks. Tim.
Well, that's it. You've heard the stories from the people we serve. You know that everyone deserves a place to call home. At Many Mansions, we will, with your help, build housing and provide supportive programs to help those in need. As Susan mentioned, you'll receive an email with further information on how you can be involved and a link to the recording of this event. Please share it with your coworkers, family, friends, and your neighbors. They also can join in our efforts. Again, I want to give a shout out to Union Bank for being our presenting sponsor today. Thank you very much for being with us.